Hey guys, today we're making steamed red bean bao buns from scratch, so let's get started. Here I have about 2 cups of cooked red beans. To cook them, I soak them in water for about 18 hours, then cook them with plenty of water for 45 minutes or until they were soft. I'm adding them into a pot with 500 milliliters of water, a half cup of sugar, a half cup of brown sugar, a big pinch of salt, and 4 tablespoons of butter. We're just going to let this come up to a boil. Once it comes up to a boil, we're going to go ahead and start mashing the beans a little bit because we're going to be making a chunky red bean paste today instead of a fine paste that you see more often. If you want to make a smooth paste, I will leave instructions on how to do that in the description. And if you wanted to make this a lower effort, quicker recipe, store-bought is totally fine. As time goes on, this will begin to thicken, and once it achieves a thick consistency that leaves a line when you draw a utensil through it, you know it's ready. I'm going to go ahead and store this in the fridge so it can chill and we can make our dough. The dough is a very simple recipe. It starts with 350 grams of all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons of instant yeast, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 tablespoon of sugar, and 2 teaspoons of kosher salt. Give the dry ingredients a little stir before adding 3 tablespoons of a neutral flavored oil, like vegetable or canola, and 1 cup of warm whole milk. Let this knead for about 7 to 8 minutes until we have a tacky, smooth dough. The dough is a little bit sticky, so I'm going to turn it over onto my work surface and add just a touch of flour. I'm going to knead this just a few times to form a nice, smooth, and supple dough ball and let it rest for 10 to 20 minutes. So we're going to pre-portion our red bean paste. I'm using a scoop because it's easier, it's consistent, and I like the larger size because I like large buns. I'm going to divide the dough in half and just roll them out a little bit into log shapes, and this is going to yield about 14 portions. You could weigh these out to be more accurate, but I'm not going to do so, and I think it'll be totally fine. Lightly dust your rolling pin with flour and just roll out a large, thin disc. I attempted to fold the bao by the pinching and twisting method, but this is my first time making this and it takes practice to perfect, so I will link a tutorial in the description from someone much wiser than I that can show you the proper way to do this. But the most important thing is to just cover the red bean paste. If it's pretty or not, it's fine, it'll be okay. I have a pot with a few inches of hot water and a steamer basket. I also place the buns on lightly oiled pieces of parchment paper so they don't stick later on when they're done cooking. I'm going to leave some space in between them and cook them for 10 minutes on a medium-high heat. 10 minutes later and we have beautiful buns that I'm really excited to try. They look gorgeous. It smells like fresh bread, and comparing it to an uncooked one, you can see that it puffed up quite beautifully. I really can't wait to open this up and see the middle. I love all the red beans oozing out from this light, fluffy bread. And now we can give this a taste. And it tastes delightful. It's noticeably different than pre-made bean paste, I think. Leaving it chunky, it keeps the bean flavor and texture that I think disappears in fine pastes. I think I would prefer the smoother paste, but this is still really delicious, and I appreciate the textural contrast it provides. I'm really glad I included brown sugar specifically because the molassesy flavor just works really well here, and I really love that it tastes homemade. The real star for me though is the bun itself. It's soft, it's light, pillowy, tender, not at all dry, and would be perfect for savory applications as well. And the best part of the dough is that it's actually quite quick and easy to make. It has few ingredients, and without it needing to rise for an hour or two, and it just needs to rest for 10 minutes, it saves a whole lot of time. And if you're using a store-bought red bean paste, this makes it even quicker and easier. It's definitely a simple, delicious dessert, and if you have time to make it, I would definitely recommend it.